No, just that. Say, when you say, me call off just to have a relaxation. What I've done and what I did.
Yeah.
Me call at least hospitals. Mako 6
visitations. Okay.
Inti Konfanochi Kolebu, Techiman Holy Family. Me ba Nkoko.
Oh, okay.
And ba kubi e wakwan Eastern Region de Mekai and afi hospital bi wo call me yiri kroma and zima hono.
Okay.
And said that but hospitalized Ebua. And then I took time off to also go to Yenko Dubai Nibia, Yenko America Nibia, Yenko Togo Nibia. A lot of sites in
Ghana. That's true.
My region, they are bringing up a new site, and I say, my church will be my bar, tourism paying for me. The mom said they should pay attention. Kintampo has too many potentials.
Kintampo,
apart from the waterfalls, no?
Yeah.
And my means more improve was it's really
Kintampo after disaster, no,
it's really been improved. And you better Ghana Tourist Authority for a better mercy and. There are hotels springing up to see almost a certain
standard.
Yeah. It's so good, you know. We have a long way to go, but it was a very good experience. Just to know and feel Ghana, you know, because say Bribia da oji wa homiana boom. Now see kana kakana benyano nana ina outside the kugu. It's not bad, but ukru petewi nama ibika. So I said, I chose to do that, and then also whilst I was holiday, you know, just to get certain things basically here. Health was very, very important. But also the health sector now. The Ekoswan Kasa wa hono de na me anim ne kurani. Enya de se agibre kwa na etimi sa adaje ekontokwa didi e ho ateme ya amanyo sema ho hia. The Ekoswo ya pom din, for instance, Rich. It's your kakra, but there are a lot of challenges over there.
Range Hospital.
Kakaka. I spent, fortunately, unfortunately for me, a sister was sick, so I had to be there. So I spent 2 days. And I mean, really, questions or observations, patients, commentaries, or more, and as if only be or mutual can you also shortages be on, especially rich. It is near dear Shrin, but problem kasi all these places I visited, including those that I paid to go and even sleep and relax there. Attitude. Onipa na adwene ne say oye me emwa. You know, so if you say untima, you know, you can go to hell. Normally be a doctor for ni binom ni nurse for ni binom kra ne sada staff different health officers and normally be kra mo catch as patients no ubetim do tira boduem no. It's becoming a class treatment and they be ametanameka apomudenia ya resabia. You see people placing calls for them to get attention.
So attention.
Yes.
When you're bed,
yes, you see people placing call and saying on your attention, and that's very serious. In Kokwanochi, it's happening at Rich, at Kolebuya West off. It is a back class health delivery there, and then I make say we have a bigger problem. And one day, man yourself so casadodo. But who say empty. Most of these promises they've given us over time in relation to our health facilities. Empty.
So the people are impressed with the brick and mortar. Yes, see hospital. We can take the box. Hospital. But empty. What goes into health care delivery? Empty. More than just putting up a hospital.
What is happening? On medical health front line. That will be the way we see kasapa. I don't know what I should call lamentation. But
sometimes you wonder, say, and you based on what?
And a chair and a politician where you should V8 and a mobile Sikanodi and a penny milk and a CM promoting and a catch a crabia and allowance not an omcast with your muntia and I'm any money in Kemfua. I said, no.
There's a problem.
I said, my diet should not be because, sir, ye to your what check that patriotic aspect of us. Meaning, but for a pump free in and people are talking, and you may buy a hospital with you.
That's the challenge.
You are before me.
Yeah.
771 Brazil. Unim say, Metima be this uncle. It is count the first year. Consider being on hospital.
And you're not being here.
You're a Fian Quanta. Is it a Fia or what?
Quanta Regional Hospital.
Hey. Oh. Service delivery. All the hospitals in are minors. And minimum the kind of nurses I breathe to see. And it's our assistants. Minimum the 3 minutes you're on Wofu. And they are always on their phone. 3 minutes piano attending to emergency situations. Now initial not any was or trana or baby. None only in this country doctor and nurse apply a day on you. Maybe you have a certain fear or challenge. Or did all you could do at them. And who called the best will cry too much. You want to situations where a bit of patient, but yes, me Madrid, Bibusa doctor, because you got the wolf for a me.
No.
Nurse me, you see me, nurse patron, Manumbi Penam no miano. Me what that area alone grand problems a day, but Anna fake medication. Fake drugs on the market.
And the challenge with the money say when they negligently give out some of these medications now, say Utsi hospital no cry for negligence.
Yeah.
Proving it because I was say another specialist or a doctor.
Yes.
Oh my. It will be or be give you on an quality.
I'm saying that no more baby ACC near you mortuary quite forget it. So continuously the private mortuaries no sir Confirmo Achone, maybe a more Konongo, Kumasi,
private ones
or common brutal.
And they give better services.
Your mortuaries no. Ghana, Diana, and Casa, your hospitals, they be them.
But I wouldn't say your mortuaries agency or Ghana. How?
Oh, Matis and Andra Modia was
young Dr. Bina, Echo Head.
Yeah, I wish and pray, say, maybe obey an effective leader to sanitize and bring a certain.
Yeah, but the challenge, sometimes what I wonder is there are more of these agencies. It's been around for a while.
Yeah.
That agency has
been pay attention to it.
And look at your more
so me can be when it's just a 13-day break, but I realize that more could be done because and your ma and unim there's this doctor who is saying that we are not serious as a country. What I'm saying now, we have never been serious as a country. And we now can
so nipa be na can we now reference
I say we have not. May have gone through this hospital.
Yeah.
Receipting system require a problem at your hospital. Also, we have never been serious. Oh no, we are serious. What are you doing?
And then in that corner you are because we are not serious. Mostly, the political class.
I don't know.
Ghana
yes, because it can we this morning. Maybe say we are not serious as a country. And we because who come that who century not play a role. You're not playing your role. The Oko Kakanu no our 12 years no. Our assembly ne one etwa ho nyina ahia no. Ehwe ma 12-year-old etwi kanu no maniko butu ye no. And no, we are not serious as a country no. How do we become a serious country? Because always we politicize. Oh, Nanado, where the Nanado are insensitive to your plight. Oh, not your mama, no, your mama. So no, what or insensitive to apply. Just on the old TV or them, no coffee, no dinner, amount for and money boo. Now, why can catch yourself, President Mama, and I Joe Mama, and I say Nanado, and I Baumia, can I Japan, and I say Alan Chemati, or Babaya, man paying for. When I catch yourself, Safa Fano is a one, both to the boo and boo here, or Mobitama. Your responsibility. In that small corner, no, you're not brightening that place. Does it make sense to say, Akoda, what do you fear do me? No? Such a means only means a year transport, a year a tiffin or no. You better allow the young one as such people want.
The challenge with that particular event, then is that Akola is a student too.
That's not making.
Now, Omunina,
but that's what I'm saying.
The point is, Ubedru, and I'm told, say Ubedru, you know. But canoes this is whole. It depends on the power do be at me too.
But that is what I'm saying, sir. We have not been serious. The we no start with us.
Yeah.
Now canoe is you na me 12 years and 10 years. No for poor na me kona ko bua for so.
No checks. Nobody is there checking anything, you know.
We have not been serious no. It starts with me.
Yeah.
Also it starts with you. If we admit and accept that all of us have not been because both apart from maybe few ones be a new ACC mono na far away to where we now come. Because they make us those ones to come. But catch them say Akoda wa didn't fear do me. We are Akoda sharing this. We generate money from that place. We know that that's the only means of transportation. We know say say life jacket. We know say nkodan kuma ntimi ntwi saa de na nyina ye nhwe han say boat ni esi so do kwala de wafrobia. We will not develop.
And sometimes I think when people step up to accept leadership roles, our man, they should act the part. Into be busa won say okosa your friend was saying fafa.
Yeah. Don't get them fafa na
you see insuo so say insuo am say won crying na wo form insuo am fana enti udru hona there is definitely an assemblyman was our area. That assemblyman was elected to come and help solve certain problems.
Yes.
Assemblyman who him say Strakron school ni so. In Kwalabe crossing so and
so it's a priority.
What is the arrangement?
It's a priority.
School now Kwalane so eba across the river. Almost the school for the power. Headmaster our school who him say money be ewa across the river. What is the arrangement?
It's a priority. That's what make us say.
No sense of responsibility.
That is why I make us say, sir, we have not been serious as a country. No? It starts with you and me. We have not been serious, no. I won't serious. I must be serious. And I do something. Now, the serious, no. A better daddy more. You didn't come. There should be my sector minister works and housing. A year as a somewhat. That was all in a way, financial difficulty constraints, or no, as a minister and ministry, one who play our part. But many obi no, at the end, necessary. All team, no. Now, Messadi, I'm for 2 June, July, it's October, and I shall see in Hobano. This time, cried a bed bro, I didn't interest in so I beton. In Tokwa and Tokwa, ye Casimon sit down or be and show, only instrument to wall be any question to a bed block with you, and Pejao dining because Connie Quanso still die. As I say, we all caution the I actually say, in short tour, I had a baby Ginaji, a buffer. Now, G. be a good, my name, Timin Kunifa. But we are still developing areas that are not supposed to be developed. We are still into June, July. Stories are here for the past 10 years as journalists. You know, same old stories. You know, with maybe worsen plight. And the funny aspect continues to be that Abainbi also as of that time, the modern money is 4.7. We're in another one, June, July, or backward down. But those kind of tricks, no propaganda, on the part of young citizens, no, you come to see. You come because you have a responsibility. Abain the aware there, Abain Bia, you should for or no, Asudi Kesepa. But Bribia, there can't Sudia. Bribia, and SMC Yano, in Tempa, near the Kofobono, Ekoma Abain. Ampa, you should not buy any Chafana and Chafa. Who do you blame? Obia, when you are Quenya or Ghana. Say, who know your assemblyman. Say, we are Beth and Devs Penmu. Say, we are Penmu as a assembly hop. Say, we are I can't say a project officer or say assembly, we are the building inspector, whatever. Obia, I want play a party here. Obi no ma yebe hu o man Ghana ni be ko ditch you. You be ko ditch and kasa. Because people are refusing to play their roles and expecting that man be an a certain miracle be all of a sudden will happen. It's not going to happen. And the solutions of this country does not lie in the numbers or letters NDC or MPP. It lies in us as individuals. That is why my very worried because before Becca win the crown, another major problem will be a boy in Nayo. Makokhe ye mofrano. Or more Ghanaian languages, you know. Oh, in short, I true moon. Nkodani between ya 111 Ga 9. Number ya Asante tree 9.
No, any other subject in
11111. One more my chichery. One more my chichery. The next 4 years, you better pre-crase. Sa Ghana, Kuapim China, country, Yenny Cram Free, and sorry, I could do my Yafianka French and English in one. Nafi, yes, search the crying be. Parents are proud that Omoma Ekabro for Monty, Onti Hausa, Parents pride themselves. Before everything, Minion and Mr. Moankasa, Ghana for. Ghana for. It's your trouble, Benobi, and I did a lot of issues.
Ekosiisen on
M'Ahiasem. And there are a lot of issues up there, Mr. Ghana for a mutie. Moi, Mama, Onyamia Dom, Omoko Sukuru. Ma Ghana Kasa, ye credit tron, social school, no. Mwani mreti said wako for French teacher, any English teacher, any science teacher, any math teacher, edi akoma obano. Mwani mreti because
the least you can do is say obefia. Onenenka mukrom kasa. Brofo no ko school teacher for obeche no. Parent dey be so confusing kwala because parent dey be brofo inti kwala ne ba.
Omo kekesi ani ba sa.
Kekesi ani obeka to say the teacher say yen kan say can say in akura nta why confused.
M'Ahiasem here M'Ahiasem.
There yan say parent I want brofo so be say by force or back brofo.
Yeah, M'Ahiasem
brofo bi bubu ni tira say ba.
M'Ahiasem moko abakosemu ankwada no. The Ghanaian languages are on throwing in no. The mo ankwada 111 Ga 9 Asante tree 9 way 9 and
but how do you feel say ode oba ne be komu krom
so worrying
eye bia ba na bibia ba ode oba na komu krom
so worrying na
ye busa no ne krom kasa ye busa de chi a
no
ba na de on catch you I mean how they
feel obi o East Legon shop ayekoto home decor no ma share na make kaza ade we out to here the last time you should bleach we no same the make kaza
akwala no
you crowd baby 15 years or so
okay
yeah
until
yeah Adam Busa shop at and say I don't free I'm on the buy also there or higher and then mammy betrayed the DB and I'm saying mammy way so the mammy saw the next shop or had na make us I don't want teach you now also until you're crowd in the carbon of the no now impeccable brofua or cannot chino or their wall for my because inti ade na me busa out ya se na ya and unim enya na reho
dabi send the chance
no fi se me
no you don't know what time it is I mean no they are prim and proper papa no rainy
it's your picture even one of the toilet and I'm say but I we that smell we ebemwa what but one as open so feel person they make can go be
until
they were directly opposite them say na
as I
Greek na to mesre
yeah we have to take it serious but I think our foundation man and sometimes mostly say normally say we always have to go back to the foundation and the foundation is simple man your school na unya do school ade a wo hu inscription na wo hu ne kese pa ye speaking of vernacular is not allowed and interestingly in that same school ebia ye kire Asante Twi say there was a topic as a subject ne nko na we are allowed to speak Twi any other time won't mean catch you kromo to the extent say ye man ye punishable say o catch ya ye de snail
ebe say oku
ye de be say oku mu da na bon
e be say oku
ido ye nya de ba ko say oku mu wi no anu no enti we've oriented our people over the years to think says cheek but see the Montessori's near the other by quan after the see from say trap because
oh massa one no next chocolate
I won't mean kabi bro for mo kika I won't mean kabi now collect me almost me you so well yeah no because uncle can book and now most of them so pick your mobile from cartoons cartoons no more
parents M'Ahiasem we have a big responsibility how for M'Ahiasem asudie kese da so pa na eni ho kwan say ye jeja ho kwa and unfortunately for us media no so be me no ye modern bon pa na etofo so I say your modern bono to her net form because there are a lot of compromises too much in the media. We have that responsibility. Say yetimi obi a obetra yanim bia ne se bia hombrasem no. Ye yetimi man hu say bia asem a o kan die. Enye ne kwaso no. Enye ne kure. De o kan ni nyina so. De o kan anya de beboa mo man puntu ana ne kan ko yetimi. We need to start in all decency telling whoever sits before us. Because I don't be near the better. Ye tinipa bebre akoma so a omugide we mu say ye betimi adu ne kure ama o man chichire ni nipa bra boss sign e tire di mu awie pe
yes
so ye ko slake as media practitioners there's a bigger hole eto man
it's true
it when there is to us
it's true
the media should set up it is not engaging in personal wars insults. And Ebema who say media no yeah juma na say juma. Because they say no what they are resorting to is not to do analysis and to do better programming, but programs that insult, personalities that can go after people to blackmail and character assassinate. The moment we start doing that at that level, no, it's just quite as central for because assemble towa. Ya hwe ne poma sibre ne de koya amanyo sem ne de atem ne enioma ensem fata biribia da no o man bia pumtuo no ekoye problem for us. Sometimes it's difficult to understand whether GJ relevance crime and what because GJ relevance no maybe after gift after any does a problem for us and it's getting worse. It's getting worse.
I mean the argument is always made say
it's getting worse.
The GJ is more like an association.
It's getting worse.
It's about regulating content more of NMC.
That's what I'm saying. That even the journalists class, yes,
ethical standards,
it's getting worse.
Professional standards.
Why first to create and paying for it was under scrutiny. Yes, and tro for no cry. It got to a point now. Yana Kazana cry. It's part of our elections. So we are losing everything out as a country to the extent that baby will be ready to see and now he knew and the Katashani project. You could see in the corner a bad problem. We are destroying that fiber as a country. We are destroying it. It mess. So these are FM come or fan able Raman why
on the FM common we say Obi, we must first blame the parents in that community for their irresponsibility. If members of the community are aware that there is no school in the community for their children, what they should do is to prepare a roster of an elderly person who would ferry the children daily to cross the river to and from school. Like you, Obi, will take your kids to school daily and ensure that they safely cross the road if need be. Government cannot build a school in every community in Ghana. We need to take responsibility every time and stop blaming assemblymen and government. Edwin, I think one thing is say, I mentioned the assemblyman because there is a reason why devolution say local governance and cut to the unit committee level in communities like Fanano, the unit committee, the assembly member
because genetics get you
absolutely
and
yes, and the thing important say once you are the assembly member, the political head of the electoral area, you have an interest in the safety of children. The welfare principle, even in court. Court treatment of Nkwala different too. It's different. So be a juvenile, a court need treatment for him or her different. The welfare principle is always supreme. Inti was assemblyman say at the end of the day, you need to make sure that the children are safe. School
responsibility. Parents but the most important thing is that they are dragging the assembly into this. I prefer dragging the local assembly into this than maybe the presidency because clearly when I also supervise over that jurisdiction. It is a catch and say, "Oh, assemblyman," and I say, "Assembly." Where say this is the means of transportation. Ekosiisen way back. But so you say baby should always here and honorably the DC and a certain group of people whether they knew or they didn't so and way there and there they can stand it clearly they will just get out of their seat and say but than we will come now onyame de ma onyame eji asa enka wa onti ase o
man matese former President Mahama man acceptance speech, official acceptance speech. Inti yemfani tew emra yeba yenim say NDC primaries no nsembebe na wo ho yebeko ni nyinam former President Mahama, now the presidential candidate elect of the NDC man acceptance speech yenti emra.
Established by a great political tradition, the NDC.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM 94.7. Ekosiisen on Asempa FM 94.7. Ekosiisen on Asempa FM 94.7.
I dedicate this victory to the founder of our party, Jerry John Rawlings, to my late boss and mentor, Professor John Evans Atta-Mills, to my former Vice President, Kwesi Bekwin Emisarata, and the many hundreds of our senior comrades who labored to build this political tradition that we have the privilege of leading today. And thank you for your vote of confidence and for your unshaken conviction that I am the most suitable person with the experience and vision to lead our party, the NDC, to victory in 2024. We must win the election to enable us build the Ghana we want together. I pledge to lead you to a resounding victory come December 2024. Let me on your behalf and on my own behalf acknowledge the contribution of Dr. Kwabena Dufo, former mayor of Kumasi Kojo Bonsu, and Mr. Ernest Kobia for what they have done towards enhancing the internal democratic systems of our party. I also wish to thank the staff of the Electoral Commission for their support in making our parliamentary and presidential primaries a resounding success. My special thanks go to Mr. Srebo Kweku and his district election directors for working over and above the call of duty to ensure a successful election. To you, the kingmakers of the NDC, I say thank you for electing me with as resounding 297,603 votes, which constitutes 98.9% of the total valid votes cast. This margin of victory is deafening and emphatic and resounding, and it is indicative of the unwavering singular intent of the NDC to win the 2024 election. As I crisscross the length and breadth of this country, clocking about 13,000 kilometers, I was reminded at every stage of the journey of the enormity of the job that is ahead of us. I accept this onerous responsibility placed on my shoulders with absolute humility and a deep sense of respect for the tough tasks that lie ahead in resetting our beloved nation Ghana to one that allows us to regain our lost glory. Ours is a nation that led the decolonization process in Africa, a nation held up as the model of democracy and governance in Africa, a nation of prudence in the management of its economy and resources. This victory is not about me, John Dramani Mahama. It is about our people.
By intense polarization and
allows our citizens to live a decent and dignified life. It is about expanding access to health care so that our mothers and sisters will not
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM 94.7. Ekosiisen on Asempa FM 94.7.
For spending in a day. It is about restoring trust once again in our institutions and engendering love and pride in the name Ghana. But first, we must win the elections in 2024. And that will require from all of us hard work and winning the trust of the people of Ghana. The NDC and Ghana's interests must therefore continue to guide and bind us all together as one people from one great family. From today, right here in the hall of the University of Development Studies, I declare that the internal competition for the flag bearership position is over. You have chosen experience with vision over experiment, and I'm confident that in December 2024, Ghanaians will make that choice that puts us back on the path of building the Ghana we want together. We must flip the coin from competition to cooperation. We need cooperation to build a better Ghana and a better NDC. I'm therefore calling for cooperation among all elected parliamentary candidates and your aspirants and supporters. Incumbent members of parliament who lost their primaries must also keep their heads up. You remain heroes for the good job you have done and continue to do. We need your experience and talents for the honors job that faces us when the good people of Ghana give us a mandate to steer the affairs of this country once more. Above all, we need you in the remaining 1.5 years of your parliamentary mandate to carry out your duties in Parliament with dedication and commitment to safeguard the interests of the Ghanaian people. And I wish to assure you that I intend to meet with these MPs at the earliest possible opportunity. I wish to assure you that you are still assets of the party, and we shall make use of the talents and experience that you have garnered. The party needs you and will continue to rely on you as we seek to win election 2024 and change the destiny of the suffering people of Ghana. We must remain one solid family. Let me emphasize and urge all of us as members of the NDC to rededicate ourselves, commit our energies and resources to work hard to win 2024. I assure you of my open-mindedness, my open-door policy, and my commitment to run a government that will be based on merit and competence. Let me reaffirm my unshaken commitment to offer the needed support to our parliamentary candidates and all constituencies to make certain that we secure a healthy majority in the next parliament. What this means for our party is that we must conclude the outstanding parliamentary elections as soon as possible so that we can focus our resources on the campaign for the upcoming national elections. I assure you that together with the national chairman, the general secretary and other executives, we will plan and campaign very vigorously with clear objectives and strategic outcomes. We owe it as a duty to our country to do so, and we shall. On this note, as I dissolve my innovative, hardworking and successful campaign coordinating team led by Professor Joshua Alabi, I wish to thank the team, my staff, my security, the media, the NDC regional chairman, regional and constituency campaign teams, and of course my wife Lordina, my children, and my siblings, some of whom are here. Stand up, let them see you. Thank you. Thank you. And my siblings, and all others who are on this journey with me. I can never repay you for your generosity, dedication, and love for me and for our country, Ghana. Let's hold on to hope. Ladies and gentlemen, we must urgently commence building the Ghana we want together, because our dear nation Ghana is sailing through perilous seas. Our socio-economic foundation as a nation has in the last few years not only been threatened, but has been fractured and dislocated. Corruption and the raid on the public purse have come to a crescendo. The rights of citizens, including journalists, no longer matter to this government. In the last 2 years, Ghana has dropped on the Press Freedom Index. Our national health insurance scheme is comatose. The scheme is starved of funds by the government capping policy and the refusal to release proceeds of the National Health Insurance Levy to the National Health Insurance Authority. Patients are faced with an empty scheme that only ensures retrieval of their medical folders and consultation. Even basic drugs, such as analgesics, cough mixtures, and antibiotics, must be purchased by patients themselves from the drugstores. For the first time in our history, retirees and the middle class are facing the existential threat to their survival and financial stability due to gross mismanagement of our economy by a grossly inept finance minister and economic management team. For the first time in known memory, newborn babies are unable to access the full complement of their childhood vaccines. Yet these newborns and the younger generation also face the heavy burden of inheriting a suffocating national debt which stands at almost 600 billion Ghana cedis, the equivalent of over 100% of our GDP. Only a fortnight ago, the government recalled members of parliament, and the main purpose for this recall was to approve a further $710 million, more debt to compound the already choking national debt. Ladies and gentlemen, the lack of vision and prospects by government is patently discomforting. And that is why we have no option but to win election 2024. This is to reset our country on a path of transformation for progress and prosperity. I come to you, the good people of Ghana, and I say there's hope for our country. That hope will emanate from our very selves as a resilient nation, a people with a passionate appetite for progress and prosperity, a people capable of rising from the ashes of catastrophe like a phoenix to build a stronger and smarter nation to serve our needs and wants. This hope also springs from a leadership that is willing to accept responsibility and fix the problems rather than pass the buck. A leadership that is honest and does not lie to its people. A leadership that is consultative and willing to build a consensus in solving the challenges that confront Ghanaians in their daily lives. I have an unshakable conviction. I believe and I know Ghana shall rise again. My vision for our beloved Ghana aligns with your expectations for a better Ghana, one that we're going to build together. Beyond my vision, ladies and gentlemen, our Constitution also gives us hope. It creates the foundation for our fourth Republican democracy, a democratic dispensation that is still the best form of government and which we must guard and protect. Because however abysmal and appalling the performance of a government is, the people have an opportunity to make a change at the next election. Clearly, the Akufo-Addo and Bawumia NPP administration has failed to meet the expectations of the Ghanaian people, and they must prepare to bow out at the next election. And they must start preparing their handing over notes. And get ready to account to the people of Ghana for their stewardship. Yes, there's hope for our country. I firmly believe in our collective ability as a party to lead a transformation agenda that restores decent values, revives youthful aspirations and ambitions. Ours will be a progressive government that provides equal opportunities for decent and sustainable livelihoods. I'm convinced that by working together with Ghanaians, we shall turn Ghana's hopelessness and gloom today into a better and brighter tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, let me dwell a bit on the destructive elephant in the room, which is the economy. Literally and figuratively, the government's economic management team has displayed grave incompetence, mismanaged Ghana's economy, and inflicted severe hardships on Ghanaians, including the elderly and the young. Ghanaians now know the address of the so-called solid economic management team, in quotes. The chairman and members of this economic management team have become the butt of jokes in people's homes, in the marketplaces, in restaurants, on social media, and on the airwaves because of their misguided commentaries both in opposition and government. As a leader, your word should always be truthful. It should be sincere and honest.
94.7.
It should count for something. If you are not truthful, you lose the trust of the people. Prices of goods and services continue to see extreme increases with devastating effects on the livelihood of Ghanaians. The price trends reflect the inflationary increase from 15.4% in December 2016 to over 40% presently. Unfortunately, as inflation rises, employment has not improved but has worsened. The growth rate of the agricultural sector, which was 2.7% in 2016, despite all the sloganeering, was a paltry 0.7% in 2022. The manufacturing sector, which stood at 7.9% in 2016, dipped to 4.5% in 2022. And the construction sector has gone down from 8.4% in 2016 to 4.2% in 2022. Sometimes, when I read about these terrible economic trends coupled with credit rating agencies downgrading Ghana, I ask, what has happened to the unprecedented resources that have accrued to the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia government since 2017? No government in our Fourth Republic has had the sheer amount of resources that have been made available to this particular government. And yet they have been unrelenting in hiding the truth. The fact, however, remains that by March 2020, the pre-COVID era in Ghana, the national debt had already increased by 100 billion within 3 short years. And this shows a steep rise from the 120 billion in 2016 to 225 billion in 2019. Indeed, the budget deficit of 7.5% recorded in 2018 had at that time exceeded the legally accepted threshold of 5%. Ladies and gentlemen, the combined effect of the critical economic indices before COVID-19 and after COVID-19 points to one truth. The immutable truth is that the NPP has blatantly mismanaged the economy of this country. And we cannot allow them to continue holding Ghana's progress in reverse gear. Ghana is not for a few people alone. Ghana is for all of us and generations yet unborn. As I said, we must rise like the phoenix, rising from the ashes, renew, reform, and liberate ourselves from this misrule on December 7th, 2024. And this is why I'm running for president in 2024. And this is why you voted massively for me on Saturday, May 13th, 2024. I've proposed a raft of measures and referred the government to our NDC 2020 manifesto for policy alternatives. These measures still apply today because we are neck deep in an economic crisis. The first thing, government must take responsibility for this messy economy arising from its reckless borrowing and mismanagement of the country. This is going to be one of the immediate actions of my government, God willing, when voted into office. I'll lead a process to set a standardized limit for public borrowing. Government has refused to cut expenditure by reducing the size of government and adjusting the compensation and allowances of appointees and profligate expenditure. The president is rather appointing more people and continuing to recklessly overspend. Only recently, he appointed a CEO for mortuaries and funerals. John Mahama and NDC government will respond to the concerns of the Ghanaian people proactively and drastically cut down on the number of ministers and other government appointees. There will be no room for wasting the taxpayers' money on the comfort of government officials. The NDC will reconsider the tax exemption regime, ensuring that any exemptions that are given are beneficial to the Ghanaian people. We'll further ensure that the extractive sector operates within a mutually beneficial tax environment for the stability of our exchange rate. We'll seek to make Ghana benefit more from its finite natural resources, and will encourage indigenously owned Ghanaian businesses that have the technology and capacity to operate their own productive mining concessions by themselves to do so. We have done it before, and we will do it again. Together with my team, we will enhance investor confidence in our country to attract credible domestic and foreign investors, especially in the manufacturing and light industry sector. This we will do by being transparent and not concealing economic data, such as the budget deficit, public debt, and our net international reserve. Even as we await the board of the International Monetary Fund's approval for Ghana's requested bailout by the end of May or June this year, we expect that the finance minister will urgently present a mid-year review budget to Parliament, which would include any agreements they might have reached with the fund, and also one that critically cuts down government expenditure. The 2023 budget and financial statement presented to Parliament last November currently is riding on stilts with no stability. And this is why I insist government must immediately, upon approval of Ghana's program by the fund, review the 2023 budget to reflect the realities of our economic situation today. My fellow Akatamonsonians, fellow countrymen and women, unemployment is a national security crisis today. Unemployment is at its highest level in the history of Ghana. And what must be done to help in ameliorating the challenge has not been done. From January 2025, the next NDC administration will work to transform our economy, diversify our exports, ensure value addition to our production to create more jobs. Agriculture and agribusiness shall be one of the key anchors of our economic transformation plan. We will launch a program akin to the Operation Feed Yourself and Feed Your Industries program of the early 1970s. This is geared to make Ghana self-sufficient in basic staples and curb unnecessary imports. We will seek to make indigenous entrepreneurs capture, in quotes, the commanding heights of the Ghanaian economy. In our previous stint in government, we sought to achieve this by strategically prioritizing the Tamni irrigation project, rehabilitating the Via and Tono irrigation projects, all in the Upper East region. We supported the Avnash rice processing factory here in Yankpala in the northern region. We provided fish storage facilities along the entire coastline of Ghana, and we prepared the Commander Sugar Factory for takeoff in the central region, amongst others. In the non-agricultural sector, the Wakang ceramic factory, which came alive in the western region, and the Savannah cement factory are but a few of the examples of employment opportunities we created when we were in office. And remember, we also injected 51 million Ghana cedis into the pharmaceutical sector for expansion and job creation. And our foresight became a windfall when COVID-19 struck our shores. Let me restate what I said in Ho during the launch of my campaign for flag bearer. I said we shall promote robust local participation in our banking and financial, telecommunications, tourism, mining, agribusiness, and manufacturing sectors to grow our economy and create sustainable employment for our youth. We will restore indigenous Ghanaian investment in the financing and banking sector. And we will create a tiered banking system that will serve various segments of the market. We will give the opportunity for experienced banking hands who were laid off and needlessly to secure their careers once more and move away from the menial jobs that they were compelled to take. As far as practicable, the banking licenses that were unjustly cancelled by this government will be restored. Ladies and gentlemen, our nation is still at the crossroads with crippling debts and an inefficient and wasteful government. We cannot continue this pathway. It is a betrayal of our people as a leader to keep doing things the same way when the results leave them poorer. I am committed to operating an effective government with no more than 60 ministers. These ministers, together with other appointees of the government, will not be entitled to ex gratia payments after their tenure. As I will make them commit to that undertaking even before the necessary constitutional amendments, including a review of the controversial Article 71, is carried out. I share the view that Ghanaians in the diaspora must no longer have to renounce their foreign citizenship before they can stand for elections or hold public office in Ghana. I personally believe that most of them make up for their absence with the remittances that they send. And definitely, if conditions improve, a lot of them will return home to work here in Ghana. In fact, some Ghanaians in the diaspora have proven to be extremely beneficial to our country. Take, for instance, Professor Frimpong Boateng of the Cardiothoracic Center, fame, who returned from Germany to establish the Cardio Center and has saved many Ghanaian lives. Since the professor's return, he has contributed his significant bit in medicine and in politics. And only recently, an Al Jazeera documentary accusing President Akufo-Addo and his government of organized crime in collusion with a foreigner, it also emerged that the heart surgeon had 2 years ago boldly exposed the duplicity of the MPP government in the fight against Galamsey. His report has opened a can of worms, which I know this president, in his usual manner, will sweep under the carpet, just as many corruption scandals have been cleared by who is called the clearing agent. We shall pursue this matter further and make sure that justice is done. The truth is that this government cannot just wish away the reality that Ghana is not looking good on the Corruption Perception Index of Transparency International. The president no longer makes corruption a pet topic in any of his speeches because corruption has defeated him hands down. In the government's bid to obscure corruption, they have resorted to suppressing press freedoms and an inordinate clampdown of civil society activists, including even members of parliament who dare to expose corruption. And let me assure you, as I stated in Garu in the Upper East during my campaign tour, that I will adopt a robust root and branch approach to fighting corruption. Because corruption is a major source through which state resources are lost. It will not matter whether the people involved in the corruption are our own people or from some other party. We will continue the constitution review process commenced by President John Evans Atta Mills of blessed memory, and we will carry it to its logical conclusion. This will help to plug the loopholes and clarify some clauses in our constitution and make it responsive to our current reality. My fellow Tamansonians, Ayezu, Ayeza, Hey Joe. MFA. Hey. 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 Thank you. I began by thanking you, my party delegates, for voting massively for me on Saturday. And I promise that I'll fulfill every promise I made to you during my visits to your constituencies. All the promises I made in the 16 regions of Ghana between March and 12 May 2023, I intend to fulfill. I'll be working with the National Chairman, the General Secretary, and the leadership of our party to build a formidable National Democratic Congress, one that every Ghanaian will be proud to associate with. And Ghanaians should keep in mind that the NDC has provided the most impactful socio-economic and development projects across the length and breadth of this country. I make a firm promise to ensure that our 2024 campaign is fully decentralized by empowering our branches to lead the voter mobilization and voting day canvassing. And they'll be supported by the constituency and regional executives, and of course by national and the flag bearer. Empowering the branches and motivating them and ensuring that we deploy the needed material and logistics, I remain convinced will help our campaigning and canvassing in 2024. We must all embrace and support an equitable distribution of party logistics to the branches, because this will strengthen the branches and encourage competition, even as we plan to reward each branch adequately for meeting the targets that we're going to set them in 2024. In the next few months, we'll begin redeeming our promise to help constituencies that currently do not own their own offices to acquire offices.
FM 94.7.
And we'll commence the organization of periodic orientation and training programs by our party school for all our executives. Ladies and gentlemen, and the millions following us from Ghana and across the world, as I conclude, before I take my seat, I want to reiterate some of the other commitments I made to the people of Ghana on the campaign tour. I want you to remember them so that you can hold me accountable when I come into office. I will keep these promises when I assume office on January 7th, 2025, God willing. We will restore stability and inclusive growth in the economy, and we shall rejuvenate the almost collapsed banks and the financial sector. And this will involve sweeping reforms at the Bank of Ghana, because the central bank itself has been a part of creating this problem. I'll create the foundation that will ensure that Ghana will never suffer such a deadly debt management program that threatens to send our elderly people holding government bonds to an early grave and wipe out the investments of the Ghanaian middle class. I'll prioritize local participation in the banking, financial, telecoms, mining, oil and gas, agriculture, manufacturing and construction sectors to generate more jobs for our youth. The Ghanaian young men and women we interact with on a daily basis and their colleagues in other African countries are simply tired of the jobless GDP figures. We will actively attract viable and serious private sector investors to partner government to invest in the productive sectors of this country for more jobs to be created. I will advocate strongly the return of investors who have left because of the poor management of this economy by NPP. This will involve an emphasis on agriculture and agribusiness, and will have a strong focus on making Ghanaians own their own micro enterprises. I'll complete abandoned and ongoing projects instead of rushing to start new ones. We will carry out an inventory of all hospitals, schools, electrification, water, and road projects which have stalled or been abandoned, and we will make an annual budgetary allocation for their completion. Beyond the economic front, we will also be very strong on governance, because transparent and accountable governance at all levels remains an assured fuel that fires the socio-economic transformation of successful nations. In that regard, we'll establish a governance advisory council to help improve political governance, curb corruption, and ensure the respect of human rights. This council will include representatives of civil society organizations, religious leaders, traditional leaders, and ordinary Ghanaians. And amongst others, they will be empowered to release a State of Governance in Ghana report every year. This report will guide governments in fine-tuning our good governance record. And as I said already, I'll run the leaders but most efficient government under the Fourth Republic by appointing not more than 60 ministers and deputy ministers. And I said already, I'll work to abolish the payment of ex gratia and cut out waste and ostentation in government. We shall work with Parliament and all stakeholders to complete the Constitution review process and strengthen the separation of powers. Government procurement is recognized as a major source of corruption and misappropriation of public funds. We will therefore, among other measures, set up an independent value for money office to scrutinize all government procurements that are above a $5 million threshold, or as shall be recommended by Parliament. I will give anti-corruption state institutions unfettered space to operate. The days of the clearing agent must come to an end on January 7, 2025. I'll also set up a commission of inquiry to investigate the matter of looted and stolen state lands. And the same commission will make recommendations for resolving the vexed issue of expropriated Gardangbe lands. And to deepen our democracy, the fourth estate of the realm, the media must also be given a conducive and collaborative atmosphere to operate as the fourth power that they ought to be, without threats, harassment, and assassinations. In this regard, we shall speed up the investigation of the assassination of Ahmed Swale. And the perpetrators shall surely be brought to book. We are starting off in earnest, and I'll be outlining other policies and strategies in the course of the 2024 campaign and also in our 2024 manifesto conversations. Let me emphasize that Ghana is in this severe and acute financial distress, with suffocating levels of unemployment due to the reckless mismanagement of the economy by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. But there is hope, and that hope can be fast-tracked if we choose vision with experience over try me and experiment, especially at this crucial time in our nation's life. The NDC delegates have shown the way by electing me with a definite 98.9%, or in mathematical terms, you always adjust to the nearest number. And so 98.9% is 99%. And this is indicative of their elevated faith and conviction in my ability to provide honest, visionary, and responsible leadership. They did so not only based on our solid record of achievements, but also on the concrete, sincere assurances I've given to transform our cherished country, Ghana, by building the Ghana we want together. That transformation will demand your cooperation, and that cooperation begins from today. In building the Ghana we want together, we will need you, every Ghanaian, including the disappointed NPP members. including the disappointed MPP members who are appalled by the arrogance, untruthfulness, mismanagement, corruption, and nepotism of their own government. I invite all such persons to join us in this rebuilding mission. We will also need you, every Ghanaian who wants to have a project or program in agriculture, including horticulture, aquaculture, small businesses, manufacturing, construction services, extractive industry, but has been impeded by the illicit demands of officials of this government. The next NDC government is your home. We will need you, every Ghanaian who believes that merit must be recognized and compensated and not favoritism taking the center stage. And we'll need you if you genuinely believe we have had enough of the incompetence and mismanagement of this government over the last 6.5 years. Enough is indeed enough. Ghanaians have suffered enough hardship and misrule from this bungling and rapacious Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration. Let us complete the task we have started by campaigning day and night for your humble servant, John Dramani Mahama. And also campaign for all our parliamentary candidates elected across the country. My brothers and sisters, I urge you to campaign vigorously in every corner of the country, on radio, on television, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram. And even in your private conversations. NDC members, our sympathizers, our supporters, I make you this promise. For all those who will vote for NDC, I promise you, we shall protect your vote. Your votes will not only be counted, but your votes will count in making a change in our country, Ghana. Your vote will propel the NDC into office. And with a team led by me, by the grace of God, we are ready and willing with the vision and experience to build the Ghana we want together with you. Ladies and gentlemen, victory will not only be for NDC, it will be for the whole nation Ghana in December 2024. And when this victory comes, there shall be work and happiness for all Ghanaians. I thank you, and God bless us all, and God bless our homeland Ghana. Thank you.
Anytime I feel lonely, feeling sad, only one station makes me happy. When I wake up in the morning, only this station makes my day. Asempa FM. Asempa FM. Oh, Asempa FM. Asempa FM.
94.7 Asempa FM. So inti former President John Dramani Mahama ne official acceptance speech after the victory in the presidential primaries of the NDC and Odiatu Janwe Tamale and Jumedi no Eko. So until we linked up to the feed from Tamale and Yakofa the Akoswo Hono etumedia but wakan sembe bre na eda party for us touch on the alternatives are ononso wo ochiremu asanya me ya adom na wotumi obedi abenwa na odebeye adwuma ewo ye manyemu wide ranging issues ebegimre na afietimi akobo mahene kwabena sante eda so ha yebeto M'Ahiasem segment ne so we still have some of the issues in the NDC primaries course so both presidential and parliamentary they were ha yebehwe ne yedi hu enkomo idioman yentwaso
well Meti former president is a flag bearer for the NDC I think say the wakane ye on the party the Ghana for one WGD one musa ebi obetimi aye the next leader for this country.
Sure.
Original nyoma bebre so see yen call back to 2020 manifesto no. Nsem do na wom. Ana waka nsem do so fapem ni na ye say obekun atia keta hye ne proye.
Yes.
Na wa makonya so ma nyuma hodo aba. Na wasa restore semeti ase ya banks ni bi wo atwa ma ogiri
se. Omo licenses.
Me hu say e bia UT bank na Unibank esaba. Me who say young guy original coach in the bank he probably say
capital
me who say but because president former president you say quite fast you know you
also you so caveat be say as far as practicable
but the say idea so o man no nim de ekoso it won kasa say akeke it will say it's practicable.
Yeah, but I'm say it depends. And I think it is announced no cautious. That is a caveat ne share. Now when you raise it, he says as far as practicable, and he tells you actually, yeah, idea bit maybe this doesn't look like it
some
of
these things. Maybe because baby, I do see some of these things. Don't put yourself into it. You know, you've been a former player. You know how it works. You couldn't maybe condemn be a akoso braye to aba or just Saturday
primaries
openly. Cylinder openly.
Cylinder
openly. And I don't want any MPP member to come and say yeah now no worse. And when you so and that's why and I know pay me the shock of my life that officially from the former president's camp and to the handlers of the former president.
Yes.
You are giving out 40 Ghana cedi to over 299,000 MPP delegates.
No, NDC
delegates as what?
Transportation.
For what?
So in the
for
statement.
What? That you do baby and now back to we need to be induced.
No, how do you say inducement?
Now we are seven a patriotic gesture no our door party.
For
what? International elections are we saying that the national elections is all potential NDC sympathizers they shouldn't be encouraged. I'm so worried.
Also, John Mahama thanks NDC executives across the country, announces TNT package for delegates.
No, Baobi.
Transportation.
No, but I'm saying that let's not do this.
40 cedis
let's
per
not
person.
do this. Anopano Krano. Unim. Lawyer Chumbe Mane.
Collins.
Adumako Mensa. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
It's you. All Collins Adumako Mensa raised by them said, no, may have been off. But I don't think that knowing who the former president is, an advocate for funding of political parties, anyhow, or Kutia Katasha prayer. Obetro krata idea dance say delegates ay koto aba and the abatu no as say about TNT
yes so we electoral college we a specific delegate and national
but you know what it does so the next person no should one follow suit and not say I don't think our party to aba because our party at opposition for almost 8 years. When he bring when he saw come do say person party but no pay or party no one be Ghana for the do now one saw a party on top broso say this car a show if it had been few places be buy ma and near see one which is done say we mu die
but obi o kan dey walking distance to
the no crown is dangerous. And these are several things I will be at the say patriotic aspect. You do say
is it your worry, say, or official public in an official communication?
It should not
because
be,
we know, say, all other aspirants, no, there's all more call for parliamentarians. Obi at TNT for
delegates. Corruption. We can't fight corruption in this country again. That's why because the MPP should not even attempt to take advantage. I'm hearing that the OSP no ebe fresh certain percent. I'm hearing. And I'm not yet confirmed.
Elton wa man so when you list no.
Yeah.
List of nkofo OSP Airton sa afre. Ain't maybe Elton John Broby.
Oh yeah, Elton.
Yeah, okay, Elton John Broby. Elton, Otemenka. Good. Ain't what do we know? Why na OSP I na just saw Beton Safre?
OBS, and upon information, yeah, let's say, I found yeah, Yaquab is to right now, Jacaswana, or Tustaguno. I was a grass shadow master. Yes, Julia. On the class, and upon your class of the manager. Where any piano year over the weekend, and the where you now establishes corruption, the Bayanka, Omba Church in Temu Crab, and the gate on what they are sort of area, Yawada Airbank, 18th of May 2023, and I can't understand the making me the lawyer, the piano part Kennedy. Where's the officer was heartbreaking? Somewhere the senator of the past one now, much this now, a real we started now on Kuana. Almost say, if you must want to win an election. So, where's the
the winning election or a Jurassic to do matter no so matter or move at once half friend. Hello, Elton. Hello. Elton, I don't know, baby. Elton, what about say? Na homa ni mu enye would work the lines and get him back.
Media, I am beyond the handlers of the former president, who is not the flag bearer. Hey, if you do that calculation this morning on Big Game,
that should be around almost 15 million Ghana cedis. Yeah, almost 15 million Ghana cedis. Yes, that is if say as the promise came, yes. No, delegate be any
idea. That's OBS say or one handle former president na or Frank Atunia wenye. Minim the anti-community sanction to akwemo. Ajeje say.
Say omutries
say.
Package for delegates some kind one.
Asa we there. I say sana nana do try to electoral commission no. Sa Dr. Apia hini bi no. Esa ni bi ni o. Esa bi wa forever. Yaka Dr. Piano, Yaka Obiabu Nueguna Suno. How can that a politically exposed communicator be part of the electoral commission? We don't have issues with the qualification, but how can he be part of the electoral commission? New official handlers of the president, wanna trocrata say who delegate be a Obama in this year, man, you could internal elections. Yeah, about 40 Ghana cedi.
So fire transportation.
No, you continue. No, so the most source on him. This is the problem we continue to have in this country. The most source in broad daylight. To tell the name in your now praise obey him young phone. What imagine senso? Pitisika about to obey him. A good form. Baby, I to a ba a timo kwa so.
David a Jurassic do myself.
Baby, I to a ban a Jurassic cylinder. A timo kwa a 2
cylinder.
Yes. Now, baby, I to a ban. 1 year could draw and you see and delegates in these two political parties, they should just bow down their heads in shame. Who are you going to hold accountable?
Video nini.
Yeah, who are you going to hold accountable? Me na me catch them say, who want to hold accountable? And you also say every way soon cocoa season for delegates. Now who delegate no J where we are
selling down emoji.
Yeah, J baby to abano. Baby to abano. The impunity is just getting out of hand.
But how did this happen?
It's getting out of hand.
Voting grounds cylinder. This is crazy.
And I don't know how poverty, how foolish we are becoming as individuals in this country again. Now here where we are. No, I'm not sure we are question. Oh, to say, oh, for the Christmas. And it is the one you piano. o no fi say o se so say o lobby your kwan ma o school there so apa we say ni that o fi say so your ma na. He doesn't owe you one dime of any meeting or any responsibility or accountability.
Because he bought the boat.
And I sat here 8 months, 1 year back, counting down to say, the kind of people that we are allowing space. So
to enter parliament.
And it's dangerous for us as a country. Just because of Sika. Just because of Sika. And you're dangerous for us. We don't know MPP for the MBA. We don't know. And all of us, we will look on. Oh, we have not been serious as a country. We are not serious as a country. We have not been serious as a country. We are not serious as a country. Where opposition for? You have the guts to be doing this. Now, gas. Where did you get those monies and those cylinders from your sponsors? What it therefore means is that
when you come, the sponsors will have to be.
The sponsors are in charge.
I was also talking first.
It's one. I don't hear with all these kind of promises
that will fight corruption.
Why and how? Who is going to lead that advocacy to fight corruption? Who is going to do that? And you're very troubling. Because remember, Nikasa for Pimnina, ye kwa yebe kwa tia keta project. And it was one. Oh, that was the only years. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm funny in the Elton.
Yes,
inti afi bobo list ne ma ye ni nti e.
Yes, but this time we Madam Juliana few on ma the MP na kasa or san we ne the mandate of executive session master for no. Ono so we actually challenges more information say a great spraying machine in there also some of the delegates no. It may constitute inducement because yeah there's a mobile fair no. And advantage also the behind track any right to go to go to about the bar. Now we show evidence or to mana now what time a mobile command or also the advantage there or also or more of a fair. And several information on market possible inducement of course or some of the constituencies there or more human pay or more you didn't have now here could be any lesson from a stage man. Now, Cassia woman say of which they more not just they are also aware of first statement Madam Joyce Bauer Mutare signed yet I think the day before the election. I was saying with the Omampayida that Nasway the package being delegation. Now, then there were 40 cities and their transport support. Or they might delegate you or the NDC or more about over the weekend, you know. Now, almost him said somewhere established and also may constitute inducement extra here Mayaswa. Yeah, there's some between the relevant individuals, no. Maybe in this case the former president now was more in their investigations. Now they've been put together how much it will cost to fund 40 cities each, you know. I don't know about it's around 40 million Ghana cedis. They are there. We did this. Almost Shuma and Manamo Pen. So much you. Example, we said, idea is still in the political because the first time inducement across the last election, I caused Memuno, MP, the Congress, and Wakra Hanuma. There were allegations, Democrat confirmed they paid money near the other. Now, the Busa question or response that Minister free as well said after the MPP Congress of course we let national officers or transport and you know omo pikini pattern investigate omo na the input the normal swami omo the police for equatorial omo after investigation of course after regional chairman there for now omo person bobondi because on no one say we issue on about 5 are respond to all of them. One of them confirmations of OTS and no more video not to the camera or chase camera MPP delegates here regional let's see because what no we papa or no the won't some there is almost done they may put in before court very soon. Now the pattern of more after the MPP election of course for national officers or lecture most of them are more investigating and no more substantial evidence of it making us no court and in that cases no or more discontinue. Obi the no.
Not just from checks at the office of the special prosecutor no apart from parliamentary aspirants nibia omoye nneoma bia OSP feel say a border on corruption and corruption related offenses no ombeto nsa fresh afo ni nyina no mu wi a former president Mahama so nana mo two say delegate bia ye ma won 40 Ghana cedis no and so OSP ni so omo hwehwem and if need be ombeto nsa fresh former president Mahama sanete
in fact omo chire mu anache say omo former president as an interest party or election course.
Yes.
If I know a key in terms of the presidential race, and he said, or no, you might be a party, as a neutral body, and no factor also, in a way, they see, say, this 40 cities may have influenced somebody's decision or the tomorrow. And the way or more investigators, or more AFM, some more established there was indeed inducement by the fact that also for two with transportation of 40 Ghana cedis they will move to investigate it proper.
Okay, that's interesting. In the coming days, we should expect communication officially from the OSP. That would be really interesting. But Mayana Elton, BBNia will come back and talk to you. Why? Elton John Brobe, a presidential affairs correspondent. Intel our pick it up from the office of the special prosecutor and only ache one a woman and a video call viral and no car so etutuska NDC one of the constituencies voting grounds one na otutuska no OSP no aman letter say Thursday Omra and the OSP tells us say all the other aspirants including Omoa HS cylinders and former President John Dramani Mahama so ni move say all my delegates be 40 cities transportation
say any move because Joyce Bauer and such as
and I said Joyce Bauer wrote that on behalf
but that is where I have a problem say handle will be the same Penya or Kuntia
yes
but
Joyce couldn't have written that letter without the consent
well maybe I also because minimum how it goes
sure
Ibu hana nipa bi atwa mo hye because ye soliciting from where be the this particular thing but to all intents and purposes enya papa bi go bi nukra pa ne say 15 million Ghana cedis an NDC internally as TNT.
Yes.
My expectation is that the bigger picture now NDC edin kunim there should be something also for people who are going to because
and when you there envelopes ana
how
it's a TNT ne be so much
adewe
oh man
but obi serious that me kotua sika na ni enya papa no me say trust me kotua sika we but didn't you hear the former president talking about corruption?
So it's one of the major things.
What was the condemnation on the cylinder and the government spray because anyway you know so because wakoibi it is your canon ni mu ba so be kwanta kataje the project. That's why I'm saying the handless name one system no. It is who MPP because obi say obi to opposition. No check 40 series there. Obi wa power. No check 200 series at TNT abakazana.
Now or the didn't say TNT.
Yes, no the two abakaza. If we want to accept that okay, see I can't be better than say that. Now we want to accept that there. Let's accept it. Yeah, with the normal delegates meeting, our come once at front place and with the 20 Jennifer car with the 100 Jennifer socket, normal. But see, I got 12 morning in a
blanket.
Now, baby, about to could do. And these are sort of things that Yatsana Hakasa and said, who you delegate? Who did you know? Say, Obaji Alan Chemate, Obaji Baumia, Obaji Jomama, Obaji Wine. So, Asa now Jomuia, now Koji Quachaka, now Joe Banjuia. Sasa. Eti mi wusi asati to as delegates na ya say na kokudwa ka say ana we MP okwe ana wanya hwe na wo je cylinder no na wo pese MP no
na me pato kwachiaka de ne kosi sen
o oba na sum no
kwachiaka
wo sum na ma ni coat ni anso man kan ni na hwehwe ati fom wo sum no kwachiaka 5 something against 7 something
wo lusu
wo sum no nyase wo lusu de say na ye wo sum no wo sum no
but kwachiaka de ne pa de o manya
me so ya nso ne jacket man ka pim oba pim wo sum ni say pam
na ho no mu hu ne hwen
Kobe collapse. Say papa we dey Kobe ABF see ni.
Ho no te fo mu hu ne ho.
No Kobe collapse.
Na dey no.
Kobe collapse. So we cry ba obu ho crash na ultimate be stable no.
ABF say na te fo mu hu ne hwen.
Me say Kobe na ba obu we cry no dying moment ni omo okeka no. An angry fighter cannot do no their house bam. The ant is not the idea bam. Or them saying you know magic say na need see from see trying. So anyway, but say who say about what they will be. The same MP before the mobile to a lot of casualties.
Oh yes, I know.
I'm not seeing less than 40 casualties
in Parliament.
Yeah, in Parliament.
Primaries.
Yeah, MPP primaries. So what I say, you know, it's expected.
Oh, but Kwabena don't console lose.
Oh, it was expected that some of them will go, but but also now you can't in your crab bower so crash you can't say.
Oh, Charlie do it bower.
Bongo.
Oh,
you know so.
But bongo for na
no, yes, one man. About what you kwa so what I say.
Yeah.
You expect that some of the casualties will be a bit shocked to the bone, and then they know that now even this fantastic man now. Obomodi on the constituency, Woyomi. Yeah, Woyomi. Fantastic man.
South.
And our front place, Papa no. Very fantastic guys.
Oh, now you see any pains where Diego Poto. A friend is saying Adawudu.
Or the Kosi form.
Oh, or the form team.
What you share form?
Or reporter, Charlie. Mira who
Adawudu, yes.
Adawudu.
Or the Kosi Chiro.
Don't most in the vote when you vote saying it do 50. Is it
Adawudu?
Oh, Massa. Confunded.
Then won't check it, you said I mean, but won't check
the next form tra.
Adawudu.
Oh. You're very
Kojoga.
You're very reporter, Charlie.
What you share you?
Oh, Massa. Uncle.
And then this is delegates some who
29 vote. MP and the number 500 and something vote. No, I'm 29. Charlie.
Oh, better luck. Say we know or the
better luck.
Oh, that's a Dr. Jones.
Better luck. Jones the idea and no bit make a better luck.
Yeah.
Adawudu the idea must end.
Oh, Bakwaba.
29 votes. Hey, now we name the okay. 29. MP niya 500 and something vote.
Ah, we are sure we are 29. Dominic, one found to only 29. That's only 29 team now. There's any team now. Say who say or call Muja.
Guy, no police or the better can agree.
No, but I'm saying that yes, the team now because they should have seen through. Say yeah, because I want one at least Dr. Jones there. Who say
effort
no baby. So I say, but say at Dawoodga 29.
Could you get in there? I was shocked. I shocked him. I said, is it say?
Now if you say no, you say,
Charlie. Now who? Not no who ne hosa.
What we call chiffon brown. Oh, Nahano. Ocean no more Kaya and Saturday night. Oh, you know,
what if I'm winning? Charlie video with you.
The ant will always be a fighter. The antelope has crossed the bridge and can head over 20 people. The elephant is on the move. Obviously, right?
Charlie, incumbent MPs near Elusono. Alex Adomako Setra from Place.
Yes, that man.
Edward Bauer Bongo Welusu. Wisdom Gidisu, Krachi East, Welusu, ABF Husseini Sanerugu Welusu, Abeku Krental, Ekumfi,
Welusu, Obanoko, Minima de Crow, Abeku Krental. We want them no, Obanoko, Minim, the almost Kruno, and Omoyeza. The Lasowa, Pando, Welusu, Kwabnadon Kopru East, Welusu, Angela Alowu, Afajatu South, Welusu, Kobi Woyome, South Tong, Welusu, Thomas Dalu, Chiana Paga, Welusu, Albert Akuka, Garu, Welusu, Samson Tangombu, Navrongo Central, Welusu, Augustine Teria, Bia West, Welusu, Peter Yaokwache, Peter Yaokwache, Memphis Central, Welusu, Christian Otutei Sege, Onunsu Welusu, na enu konko guno, oman, unim se, sisi hano, iti monfre east for ne mayene yen clarify ke to north. Agbanadi, and say, what is the situation? There's no situation. Ya kenka abanawi. So be 2 by 1. Ya kwaba 2. Ya stamp we chiri na ubi anywhere. Ya kenka ni Twitter situation me. No, agbanani ko jitum klase no onim de oye. There's no rerun. We winning. Now they na baka biemi.
No, na say wonye electoral commission.
In the presence of the electoral commission, makinka abawi 2 times. Bibia da fine
na ma beating no
amekono ana obi wan ka betase na mu de na de na mo kai ye wi okra da da o go rerun den. It's a recipe for confusion. Surprisingly all exit you know no mu se be menu o no ma eno no
stamp ni
papa no so ba ko ono ma
stamp ni echi anti omo de no count it free one omo say I draw
no pepe na wo de ono what
omo man ni free ho wie
na what bi da I will be jaja ho kwa de minim problem o ya wie bibia ma me gini say
edem agbana na ye candidate
na ono na ye yes afri no be ono na ye if there are concerns we need to raise media the caliber of people or more amrasi be jam say no say me am shishi
and Edem to all intent and purposes is solid.
The nipa amrasi be jam say edu be na mo say na Sam George come man a tough run for his the party should have protected Obi teacher Sam George and I'm happy Sam George
won. Well, Sam George na gap na you saying
500 and over.
Oh, okay,
500 and over. I mean 500 over.
I akwa we
na say buses be see who say Sam George buses 2. I am massive pampi akwa the bus 1. Now no seat to crew the chiro bebre.
My caretaker. No nim the ope. No be call original chairman.
Sam George, you know, the party NDC
should protect him. Yeah. He's solid.
Very solid.
He's solid.
Very, very solid. You might not like one or two about, but Obia Kran, you Obia, you 100%. But on any day, Sam George, Okuja to a black one. You can't say it's these people, no.
Yeah.
No.
They can't. And that's why
you can't say that.
That's why I was excited. Say Felix Kwacho, for example, won the.
You can't say that.
And this time also, Anna Felix, no, they know, I feel Timmy Chema, Minimusa.
Yamin, no, they know what Jimuna.
Yamin, no.
Yamin, no, Kazako, Aswasi, you won a Chisika by 7. Yamin, I said, Nissa Kosama, me qua.
Mamma from City. Oh. Felix Chini, Papa. Bachaleba, Muntaka is solid.
No, but I'm saying that Muntaka and Casano, and a bayer and this in pain for an interest in Casa. Now, how in a duty to our Munakusu, and Mokrawambo, your mamma speech, they were Munakusu, that President Mama Coco said, I say, if you a Yimu time, Munakusu. There's a problem. Let's not pretend. I impressed on the executives. Among skirmishes no as if BBI. What about that down?
Every public will be in the name of
Obi. We are Pentecost elder. You saw the thing.
Oh man,
who name motive to see Obia born in
TV no. Eya wo say womuna. E no just say womuna.
Okay, no so betimi aba say. Me na me hu ni say womuna. E bia nanim anu no.
Good. Idi aya wo say womuna.
E ba we dey wo
Ebian ono nanim otewa nanim san nanim ti.
O say bo be kuni mo. It me my dream na am say.
Yeah, womuna. Baby ono de ono womuna. And we have to dig further to know. But Charlie Muntaka is solid. Oh, because I thought he did a really good job. Charlie by any payer winning. Fred Agbenyo.
Oh yes.
Charlie, I was so happy. I was so happy.
Party, no.
I was so happy.
Party, no. You're unconformable, and I don't know how parties run. When it comes to some of these things. Make to say MPP say Mahuzi Omoka say they will not protect or secure or whatever anybody. But there are some people. But there are some people who be as a Kasaye Juma. So I just say Kasaye Juma. Now again, any same mentality. Oh, where do I catch it too much? Now I know what's the meaning. What's the meaning of that?
Wakwache na no Kasabe.
So I just where do I catch it? Yes. Oh, where do I catch it too much?
Na yeni pa yo Odotobri onko.
Yes.
6 terms.
And I'm once would you 2 million as much as for Madam Semo. Mamu fasika ye enshemo party for and the constituency delegates no enye MPO yisi kama una ye papa I don't get this one.
Sa no mo ye yanko mutu Kofi Adams. Kofi Adams 5 votes pen odi winning.
How?
E ka danko mutu no.
Enye MPO yisi kama no your baby esa empower sika support but constituency na nkasa wa be handle no. Se mo bedi yie makwan enyuma beba ho mu hospital musuku enipa na nkasa asetena medwadie be koso ne sa na na afei e basi ekoyi obi hospital and the Ghana no kra no ade na ese wo de how to MP say wo ne ukuna wo triplets at the hospital be 1 month untimi tia 400 Ghana cedi
the MP
and the responsibility of the MP says how is this
happening? Now so wa wo mpo de no a good cause
how
okoware ne third wife was a wutua now there o Chaleba Gordon Asaribedi akose Obi according to the statement of poll by the Electoral Commission the K2 North election was a drawn contest. So there would be a rerun.
Well, it's hard to tell you.
Because statement of poll means the official
authority. But clearly, what we saw and what we're watching on Adum TV there, the figures are buying there.
Hey, because rerun the hardware.
Well, hardware. You'll be winning, and it's pointing to just that young man. Hadwene.
Oh,
hadwene. Adia India. Yes, a more sebe shekwa de se wono. We had the account when him said it.
But when him say Okaikwe, is it Okaikwe North? A young man is winning.
Yeah. On the
friend say, Baba Sadiq.
Only there was no other IBA, that's money. But the national one, the same say on camera.
Main election.
So there was there. That Mitrano Kakana Makokiriko has not done well. What's that? Onshore governance, and especially what we do in the kind of politics we do in this country. What you actually now to walk up package is very easy. Who will blame Okiriko Mante? Your man access to become a deputy minister of that ministry. It is easier said than done. When you are sitting behind, you are easily criticizing. Now, Sabi Okiriko. Open entertainment and arts industry. Open investment broso at that time when Okiriko investment. Maybe this young man was nowhere to be found. It will interest cry when about to critique the creative industry. It means supersede Okiriko. But governance in this country. It is the Okiriko partner. It is a winning now. Now also Baba may excuse Ribi. Also call all out. Nobody fights your exuberance. But in politics in this country, you got to learn. It is not sitting behind and speaking good English.
On Asempa
Okofield Nankasa
94.7.
Who said Nyoma what plan is over yen when is we blew one time?
Yeah. I hear say Ekosiisen Central.
Yeah, when is we blew one time? Central.
Say hona Boama.
Yeah, I heard another fantastic on Obeko. My cousin Obeko. This guy is coming to push Boama to the edge. Boama to run for his man, but clearly Boama will go in. Made the imagine say man in Shah saying promising Kasabi Bill.
Baba
yeah, on to the boss. If you start the blame game and start attacking and talk about Obi. Uncle Kaikwe Central no. Uncle the dynamics of that place. Even the Muslim society no. Only how they are so much into Boama. No, the percentage of a year accounts.
Voting blocks.
Yes.
Constraints in the
it's your Juma Danosono. It's not to attack the creative industry or to attack the government of the deal. Minya Ukobusa, Papa no Oti, and Zemana, no power minister, no Sesena. Ubusana, or no minister, as juicy as it was. Koheni Krumkai. Now, Koheni Krum for Sue Musu. A certain love they have for him. That's why they continue to vote for him. So, as a member of parliament, aspirant, hey, there's Susukasa. Susukasa. Oh, Susukasa Crowley. My social entertainment programs, so morning shows, or Kasa. Hey, it is called politics.
That's what Okiriko said.
Yeah, it is.
Na Lejokuku Okoboy mo MP no oko unopposed na obi contested no ena wa wi ni ho nso de ho nje ono ni Okoboy na besia agina bio.
Well, if only Okoboy will be part of
Okoboy is going. He's going again. Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting.
Yeah, he's going again. He's going again.
How can they do an calculations in Belgium? I entreat all delegates, especially more the Obofon na Ehuapaso. More NDC for more koto aba more GG Kajiji cylinder. Bonsi mutrasi when him guasim. If the own koye we some country as a MP or momodi. What you will last into infinite performance, it should not be a problem to you.
Now Ablekuma Central Abdul Latif Dan this time we need. Hey, what's it? And you do about 2 your friend is saying we need pay obetu and net no.
Na ba ku ikra don kasa so imagine the more. Wa ma baba jama mo je etunisi.
And baba jama won wini.
Oh, toto.
Baba jama la lose.
Na so atu actually baby.
Oh,
baba jama. Ojane pa bo site okra. Voting place. Baba jama.
Na me fit we wini.
Ojane pa bo honum report okọ do na ye ho akra asempose on of a man no draw attention. Baba jama.
Say we jane pa bo ho.
Baba jama.
No the one ko na kweti anko dwen ne hu.
Dabi. Akweti akwa de block no. He said what can see me.
Is you over going?
Is why over the next of man produces out. Oh baba baba chawda. you had you with the menu that time.
Oh, Charlie. No, Jama, they did me.
Oh, Papa Jama, Papa no on Kasao.
Oh, from
there be only time for Kasabia. There be on Kasa. Papa on Kasa.
Charlie. Hey, now names say you call on opposed though. Say you call on opposed. Clementa Park.
Oh, okay.
Call on opposed.
Another propaganda MP. I want me to turn your matter from him. Hey. Now your call, I'm going to call you now.
Now call you.
Kaswana. Owini. What it team? Now call you the fighter.
Only how I come in bio.
Now call you the fighter. Oh, now I know more chairman also me believe in the brutal.
Yeah, chairman.
Chairman. I'm so a land guard again. Yeah. What about you see chairman? Oh, now call you.
Charlie, my mom is senior back. Me call St. John's. Form 1 or mana or your house prefect house 1 St. Francis House or be your name St. John's be your friend Kofi Bente Afo and the honor where we need Seshuyoso.
Oh, okay.
The candidate for Seshuyoso. Okay. I'm so proud of him. I mean, senior Bente Obia or call St. John's between you call 99, you call normal form 3. It's not a house prefect for house 1. Okay. Was St.
Welcome, senior. One of the Namia to maybe I'll be rumpo.
Also
now the Abba.
Hey, so you also a Honda free.
It doesn't change anything. That's a cocoa free the crow between me, cartoon, bet, and canoe grants I buy. Oh, I didn't know. But
I mean, Papa also contested Benton or report.
Oh, what report?
Oh, your friend Pedro, in Pedro. Oh, Frank Pedro Asareno.
What do you see from
report? Only Benton in the contest. Benton did not perform.
Now, maybe call for to sponsor Mokoyomoy.
Why?
Orlando ni or was going away.
Orlando's no way.
And then over Orlando. Yeah, Olympio,
yes, your report. I will trouble. Order 14.
Olympio. Hey, was
Charlie, but Richard Atampon call on the post.
Oh, say, no. Metro calculations are my man or to be call on the post into the metro. Or that mechanical about but one did the BNS.
Ah, now I have 4. Your friend is saying,
or saying, oh, the moment now, compliments are better from Colizada. Don't go there. Nobody can overcrowd him. Obinamis overcrowd. Yan 2 national elections will be so much. I'm telling you that Mimi Frafo.
Okay.
Oh, Colizada, Erikopoku, Omopomonkoda. I just send a post no.
Menchia South.
It's one way I was on the Colizada was Erikopoku Boabua and Fancy baby. I mean, Sawadaji. Hey. Oh, please.
And any
in fact, baby, Colizada, Erikopoku. Don't go there. Akando, Ahi, don't go there.
So Akando call no.
Don't go there. Don't go there. I saw what try a friend of marking.
How?
There's a party in 17. I said, the Kokumawi. It's just it's a normal procedure. Oh, yeah, Kokumawi. Said the record showed that.
Sure.
Clearly, no. Bribia Dano. MPP seat. Maybe at the end, this person here this time they say, "Some nim kakra."
But
me winning. So I say, I had to say, Kaswa, for instance. Our committee compliments or bebre. It will be difficult for anybody to take through.
I'm a call your intimate.
Oh, we put my brothers or the Casabibi and our Kazakas. My brothers. So
I'm a call you.
We wish everybody well, but let's not continue to really entertain politics at Sikasem, so what you say, and in your match, and I pity the MPP. Baby, by a cow hair name in Obi. Namia MPP for November parliamentary elections in Basel. Now, January to February, a parliamentary
somebody can hear
presidential
fan one first. No, my presidential from
Namia do Momodian
certain MPs there.
Omodian, and OSP no on your ready,
sir.
Oh, of course, OSP no. A son I was trying to say, son, it's here to say the Elton John Brubia Canada. MPP there on your ready. And I will be in opposition for cry to an amount. Cylinder. Oh, they just imagine. So it is telling you that why are we all rushing to be politicians? Why Why are we all rushing to be DC, MPs, ministers, aspiring to be political activists? Why are we? And then Korean university no obia person we as a politician. All professionals obia person we as a politician. Makachro o maya fa pimno ne yahoki kan nyina akogina manyo sem so no. Once we leave the teaching profession, the health profession, the journalistic profession, the whatever profession, all to move into
partisan
politics. And it's dangerous for us. It's all professionals, they are compromising. They are leaking information. A doctor for leaking information. Oko Klosa go leak information. Oko how leak information. The interest is that must be political party emra and as will be hunchina or mini
power. But Oka doctor for no former immediate past general secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, Titus Bayu.
Yeah.
Where we knew.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I am sure drive through the University of Ghana campus and look at I am sure also. Say University of Ghana ni all the other traditional universities plus the private ones in Ghana. Say Afibia Mpono so enipa 400,000 eba bontia.
Yeah.
Or man any and crown
what do we do with them?
There are issues at stake. Makacho aprobokeke to 4, 5, 6 major hospitals in this country. Hell for us.
Honorable Frances M'Ahiasem.
Hey, Osho.
Hi, Obi. Omahine has hit the nail right on the head. It is only the playing field that lofty dreams and plans are shattered. Inti dreams in the Obenya Baonya Wura Park and so. Obatampa Frances M'Ahiasem.
Chiadama me say on was say. Adenta de. Adenta from Fraser.
Obayinsu winning.
Ramadan. Oh, but that gentleman was going to win. The onya 1,000 and over maminya 9 something. But that guy was going to win. Now and then I will to know. To know. Oh, the bed what to know. To the bed then. Only Pombino say ye BT Babo say ye Cozy or no neighbor Fisi Ramadan. And how they move by day. But said Obiko to Ramadan there it was impossible.
Let me say congratulations to a friend of mine, Honorable Emilia Arthur.
Oh, my a former
deputy regional minister,
yes,
Western region, and I know a former DC, Shama.
Okay.
Where we need
Shama
constituency.
Oh, no,
Emilia Arthur.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations to you, Honorable.
And someone Kwachaka Kasa, Nami Admechina.
Kwachaka.
Yeah. Now
one guy bit me akasa.
Oh, Obi, he's an astute politician. Why DC for 8 years? Why a member of parliament for
8 years? Yeah.
For 2 terms. Inti onye way na bema.
No be a ojai marine engineer jumane ba Ghana.
Oba sacrifice in Ghana. But it doesn't change the matter. But President John Mahama say oba engage omu nyina. Na wa hwe.
You understand also mo pe e be a deputy roads minister bi ma no.
Why?
Say marine engineer Kwachiaka.
Oh, one day so on the tour.
Tour.
Omo wini ato obetimi akohede na oba ne akwa na o share Black Star no Nigeria na o share Black Star Adepoju o so ka Adepoju we research and sports Ghana Nigeria versus Ghana Adepoju ono the tiko share go no Adepoju
na le wa ese kwati aka na
oh obi chumu tonkai oh me se wo da omo ye na beat na sukasa oh bachum kwa we wa Adepoju oh kwa we Nigeria for no obi the process Adepoju yeah ni ti say you know enye joke the ti say ship oh no the ti say Ghana Adepoju
wow
no
yes, a former CEO of Rich Hospital Dr. Anaba also akowini ni
oh yeah
former CEO of Rich
but
yes ni din di Mitiu Adepoju
yeah me dey na make am yeah me na make am no
Mitiu
tie
Adepoju
tie what was it rolling style we dey go for the move oh see rolling style
Mitiu Adepoju
yeah Adepoju
when a man dies at a marketplace, there is no need to announce his death. ABA for saying, Charlie.
It's on that note or not Adepoju no.
Yeah.
Mo say me don't go to one more.
No, you're good.
Sure.
Yes, Senegal 92 actually.
Very good.
Senegal 92. That's at no we O level. Now you have kindergarten. Ekosiisen M'Ahiasem 94.7 FM.